Alright guys, HyDra back again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Just a couple of days after Shotzzy leaked that OpTic Halo are looking to make a change, it's now been revealed, it seems, who the fourth is going to be based on what Papa Lucid said in a Twitch chat last night. But Shotzzy also confirming that if he could, he would be very willing to play Halo again professionally. Right now with the CDL contract and the way the seasons overlap, that's probably not plausible, but it's ideally his preference if the money was to be right, and could well be something that can't be ruled out in the near future. Very much enjoyed to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Firstly, this is JurNii and the Heretics boys getting Visa approved for the new season. So we've talked about the whole print thing over the last few days. It's seemingly working out for the Heretics guys. Of course, they've got a bigger challenge on their hands, I suppose, because they've got to get a lot of these guys' visas sorted for the upcoming year, and that's probably why they've gone for the 5-man roster that they have, because then if they do need to, something needs to happen mid-season, they need to make a change, they've got everyone under contract and visa to be able to do exactly that. Now, because the game is just about to come out, that means the Breaking Point top 20 is being revealed over the next couple of days, from 20 to 16 yesterday, all the way up to first just before the game comes through. This is the top 20 to top 16, starting with Ghosty here at number 20. This, I think, is probably about right. I know that people are going to have their thoughts, certainly this far down the list, whether players are too high, whether they didn't deserve to be on it, whether they're too low. I actually had Ghosty slightly higher than this on mine, but around about this kind of ballpark. Thought he did a great job for OpTic and deserves a lot of credit. Yes, his stats might not have been insane over the course of the season, but that's less relevant than I think what he did for this OpTic team. So I had him kind of firmly in my top 20. He made 20th overall. 19th went to Awakening. Awakening actually didn't quite make mine, so everyone does the voting, and then, EasyMac tallies it all up and sees what comes up. I think Awakening for me was just outside the top 20. I get it why he made it here for sure, because his numbers were spectacular, but Boston didn't do that much, so I tend to try and weight results more than I do stats in this, but other people have their own perception on what that weighting should be. So for me, Awakening was just outside, but he got number 19 when we all tallied it up. 18th went to Insight, which is probably about right. Gotta say, somewhat surprised that Insight went from being an absolute dominant force in Search and Destroy not that long ago to, he had a sub 1 KD this season in Search and Destroy. I know people will say, oh, well, Cold War, the rumour is that Toronto understood that sound equalisation was a thing long before anybody else did, and that's why himself and other players were so good at that game. Maybe true, but regardless, still somewhat surprising. Now, look, what's Insight to do when you've got Scrappy on your team, and look, he did a good job for a team that won a fair bit. So I think this rating is probably deserved. 17th goes to Slasher, which I also think is probably about right. I think I forgot to put Slasher in mine, to be fair, when I did my initial list, but he would have been around about here because, again, similar story. Not the, okay, good season from Slasher, not the best player statistically, the 4th best player on the team statistically, on a team that performed well and got good results, highest average placing again of the year FaZe, despite not winning as much as they might want to have done. They won in Boston, of course, and, well, New York won a lot of things, but in terms of average placing, FaZe, as always, still number 1 in that category. So I think this is probably about right. I think the Slasher had a marginally better season than Insight, so I like the way this is ordered. Now, 16 goes to Priestahh. I had Priestahh, I think, 15th on mine, and the thing that, well, it's not, confusing. I understand why it happened, but I would have liked to see, in my list, I had Sib slightly lower than Priestahh, and it looks like Sib is going to be higher than Priestahh based on this, which is maybe fair enough. I thought Sib was maybe not as good at this game as he was at last year's game, so I don't know. Maybe it's justified. It depends what your opinion is, but of course, it's interesting. I don't exactly know what the list is. We'll see maybe tomorrow where Sib appears on this, because I imagine he's going to be revealed, I guess, sometime today, right? Because this came out yesterday. We'll see, because those are the two players that New York, the World Championship winning team, will have to compare for the new year, and Priestahh, I thought, did a solid job, and he won 3 events, including the World Championship. So to me, that puts you at least top 15. When we tallied it all up, he was just outside, but we've got to mention here, this launched alongside the brand new Breaking Point site. So honestly, everyone behind the scenes has been doing a killer job over the last several months putting this together. The old site on the WordPress side with all the boys have built an entirely new backend for the website for the new season. So really excited for this. It's absolutely fantastic. Yes, it's this is the worst the website will ever be. It's just launched. We did kind of a soft launch a couple of days ago now just to see if it would actually work properly, and it does. Like, for example, if we look at the match page here, Subliners versus FaZe, I mean, look how beautiful this is. We worked pretty hard on making it clear who's won each map, so if there's a reverse sweep, you can easily see it. Stuff like this anyway. And the site is now live, this new version over at Breaking Point GG. You guys can sign up with, I think you can now sign up with your Twitter, with your Google, with like other things as well, so you don't have to make a brand new account. There's also like light and dark mode that you can swap between, but dark mode is clearly far superior here. And fantasy will be coming soon. Currently gives a 404. But yeah, if you guys have any feedback or anything like that you guys want to dish out, then just drop it in the DMs of the Breaking Point Twitter, GG Breaking Point, or just reply to one of our tweets and we will see the feedback. So yeah, we'd be very much interested to see it, because the season launches relatively soon and we're trying to make the site as good as possible for the community. Just quickly, I'll mention there's no app yet, but this website has been designed to look way better and work way better on mobile. There will be an app, I'm sure, down the line, but for now we just wanted to make sure the new version of the website was actually far better on mobile than the previous version was, which is the case based on what I've tested and tried out so far. So interested for feedback on that one. Let's dive in to the OpTic stuff then, because Shotzzy the other day said straight up on stream that oh yeah, I'm not going to tell you the OpTic Halo roster because Hex will kill me. And then he was like, oh no, I probably shouldn't have said that because nobody actually knew that they were making a change at the time. This was a clip from a few months ago now, to be fair, when aBeZy was talking about Shotzzy, how good he was, League of his own, back in, you know, when Shotzzy, before he came to the Call of Duty League back in 2020, when he was playing Halo 5 on Splice and winning the World Championship back in 2018. Since then, he's come to COD. More money in COD, you know, that's how it works. There was an actual proper league. Halo as a game, look, Halo's a legendary FPS game, no doubt, but as an esport, it always tends to start off pretty well. When the new game happens, after a few years of that certain title, things die down somewhat. There isn't quite the money as there is in other esports, and that's why players like, you know, Shotzzy today, or even Formal and Enable back in the day when it was going into Call of Duty Ghosts, also made the choice to came over to Call of Duty. But lots of those players, Halo was their favorite game, it was their primary game, and it was the game that in an ideal world, if, you know, money was no object, that's what they would prefer to play on a competitive level. And Shotzzy, I believe, falls into this category as well. Now, we saw when Shotzzy implied there was a change, the big rumor going around at the time was that it's probably aBeZy out. I just can't see why, like, Formal isn't going to be going anywhere. I can't see Lucid or Trippy going anywhere. So aBeZy just makes the most sense as the odd man out of that team. Now, this is kind of funny. Tiger99 Tom 19. So this guy is apparently Lucid's father, Tiger Tom, and he's kind of known as this. So during the HCS Pro Talk podcast on Twitch, he said the following: the big news is that it was supposed to be Stellar. Yep, that was the original discussion. Zane, though, is an awesome choice in my opinion. So yeah, Stellar is it with a UR, but you guys know what I mean. Player 4, Space Station Gaming. And he was apparently the primary target to presumably replace aBeZy on the OpTic Halo roster. Now, that hasn't happened. Why? We don't know. I mean, this is all speculation anyway, but it's interesting. Maybe Stella wanted to bring Eco along as well. I don't know, because I kind of seems strange for those two to split up. But Zane is the first name of Penguin, who is the other candidate, it seems, to join OpTic now. So that's the rumor, and apparently, I mean, look, how many times does this have to happen with these esports parents? We saw just the other day, Gwyn's mum just leaked the entire London, Carolina team with, you know, no questions asked. And now here we go with Lucid, you know, Papa Lucid is coming out and dropping the bombs on the timeline. So yeah, it seems like this is the case. We theorize it anyway, and yeah, Hex might need to have a word with some of these esports parents because things could only go badly wrong. Now, Shotzzy was playing Halo, as he has been the last few days, because there isn't really much else to play for players that like FPS games and enjoy Halo themselves. That's what they're playing at the moment. And he goes on to say that, yeah, like, he would want to play Halo professionally if he could. If he could somehow overlap and play both, he would. I don't believe his CDL contract would allow that anyway, even though it wouldn't realistically be plausible, would it, to play both esports in two different teams over the course of a year anyway. But yeah, Shotzzy has made it clear for a little bit of time that, yeah, like, Halo, I guess, would be his preference. For now, Call of Duty makes the most sense, but definitely a return to Halo is on the cards.
But Matt has 2 rings, right? Oh yeah, Halo and COD. One's mud. Oh, we're down.
Enemy halfway to victory.
Listen, bro. If I'm allowed to do it, I'll do it next year. Trust. I just need a week. That's all I need. Cause I know like people will eventually be like gotta like get this bandit shit.
Time in.
But bro, you give me a week then, like this shit's raps.
See that?
And like I kind of know how to play already, low key. It's kind of like it's kind of self-explanatory.
JD, no one dies.
Please don't jump here.
Time in.
So I know many people have suggested, wow, like what if Shotzzy came into OpTic Halo instead of aBeZy? Like Shotzzy, former Lucid Trivy, that would be a mega team. And to be fair, Shotzzy has been doing some side quests. At the Halo World Championship, he won the $5,000 2v2 throwdown tournament that he played there. So, you know, he's clearly got what it takes in Halo. Was a different gravy level player before he left Halo to come to Call of Duty back in effectively 2020 was the first season that he played for the Dallas Empire that year, and of course won the World Championship in COD immediately. So he's got 2 rings, 1 in Halo, 1 in COD, as has now Formal. But yeah, Shotzzy's basically like, yeah, I would do it. I'd go back to play Halo if the opportunity arose, or if it ever would make financial sense to do so, because over the next couple of years we are expecting the Call of Duty League will either dissolve, or the way that Halo is presently run, it will not be probably too dissimilar to what will happen in Call of Duty in the coming years. Will the top players in COD still make more money than the top players in Halo? Probably yes, because it is going to remain, I would say, a bigger esport and a more profitable esport. So it's difficult to say what Shotzzy's perception will be, but there's very few players in Shotzzy's position that could feel very confident they could step back into Halo and immediately be one of the best players in the game. Like, you know, that's only really possible for a guy like Shotzzy, and if it is his preference, then you got to wonder if the next couple of COD games aren't so good. But, you know, then again, we're going from this game, which looks better than last year, to then a tryout game. So I'm not sure I expect Shotzzy to step away. I also wonder what Halo Esports really does in the next couple of years, because when Halo came out, I played a lot of it, Halo Infinite. I know a lot of people did. It was really exciting. And then they just didn't really do anything to the game. There wasn't really any new content drops. There wasn't really, you know, they didn't give me too many reasons to keep playing. And sure, certain games, they don't need to give you new reasons to play. Like chess, for example. I think chess is a quality game. I go through cycles of when I play it and when I don't on a regular basis, and I'm reasonable enough at the game. But, you know, they're not dropping a new content drop in chess, no new maps. Like, it's the same map, it's the same game, but because it's such a fundamentally sound game and you get your ELO rating, you can improve over time. People play chess every day, you know, people that are excited about it, despite no new content drops. But in the, you know, video games, it's maybe slightly different. Like even Fortnite, which is on paper, okay, it's still a great game the way it's designed, but dropping that new, like, the new OG, really, Fortnite version, they're bringing back the old school Fortnite days, that's got a load of people back into the game. So I think you do need to do something. Like, there needs to be some, you know, interest for the developers to actually keep these games alive, otherwise people will go to other games, because I guess there's nothing like chess, is there, that you can replace it with. And if you like basketball or, you know, football or whatever, like, there's nothing quite like that to replace it with, even though there's no new content updates in those games. But in, you know, in video games, I guess the games can be so similar that you need to keep them alive. I don't know, but it does make me wonder whether, you know, Halo's gonna live on in the same way, or whether it's gonna be viable for Shotzzy in the next couple of years. But if it is, then I suppose stay tuned, because it would be a pretty big turn up for the books if Shotzzy was to decide, you know what, I actually want to go back and play Halo again. I'll join the OpTic Halo team, and then the COD team will need to find somebody else. And that is not out of the realms of possibility. That could be the case over the next couple of years. I know that people have also said, could he play champs? Like, because Halo champs might not align with COD champs, and apparently he even talked about that this year, didn't he? I think he even said it, but I don't know if the contract allows him to play in that Halo World Championship, whether, you know, he would even, you know, because he'd have to play for an organization that wasn't OpTic realistically, so it just didn't work out. But maybe next year there could be another opportunity. So hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.